Stop right there. Before you grab that mop and bucket and start scrubbing like you have been doing for years, I need you to watch this. What you are looking at right now is one of the most disgusting, most ignored problems in every kitchen. A sticky, greasy floor that just never feels truly clean no matter how many times you mop it. You step on it and your shoes literally stick. You run your hand across it and you feel that invisible film of old grease, cooking oil, and food residue that has been building up layer by layer, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. And here's the worst part. Regular mopping is not cleaning it. It is just pushing that grease around. But today, we are going to fix that permanently, and we are going to do it the lazy way. No scrubbing, no expensive cleaners, no getting on your hands and knees. Just a simple 2-ingredient solution that you probably already have in your kitchen right now, applied with almost zero effort. And the results are absolutely shocking. Now, before we go any further, I need to give you an important disclaimer. Always test this solution on a small, hidden area of your floor first before applying it to the whole surface. Different floor types, tile, vinyl, laminate, hardwood, can react differently. Results may vary depending on the type and age of the grease buildup on your specific floor. We will cover exactly which floor types this is safe for later in this video. If this kind of chemistry-powered, lazy home cleaning is your thing, hit that subscribe button right now because we drop methods like this every single week, and your kitchen, bathroom, and garage will never be the same. Let us get into it. Here is something most people never think about. Every single time you cook, whether you're frying eggs, sautéing vegetables, or just boiling a pot of water, microscopic particles of oil, grease, and steam are released into the air in your kitchen. This is called cooking vapor, or grease mist, and it is completely invisible to the naked eye. This mist floats through your kitchen and settles on every horizontal surface it can find. Your countertops get it, your cabinets get it, and your floor gets it. A lot of it, because that is where everything eventually falls. Now, on top of this invisible grease mist, you also have the obvious stuff. Cooking oil that splatters out of the pan, sauce that drips off the spoon, butter that slides off the counter edge, and all the food particles that hit the floor during a busy cooking session. Each layer of this grease and oil is extremely thin at first. So thin you cannot see it, but over days and weeks these invisible layers stack on top of each other like sheets of paper. They bond with dust and fine food particles. They oxidize and polymerize under the heat of your kitchen. And slowly, the floor goes from clean to slightly sticky to full-on grab-your-shoe sticky. You know that disgusting peeling sound your flip-flops make when you walk across the kitchen floor late at night? That is polymerized grease calling your name. The reason this problem gets so out of control is that it happens completely below our awareness. You cannot see a single layer of grease mist. By the time you notice the stickiness, you are already dealing with months of accumulated buildup. And here is the truly frustrating part. Most people respond by mopping more, which, as we are about to discover, is almost completely useless against this type of grease. Let us talk chemistry for just a minute, because understanding this is what is going to change everything for you. Grease is a non-polar molecule, and water, which is the base of every regular floor cleaner and mop bucket solution, is a polar molecule. You have probably heard the phrase, oil and water do not mix. That is not just an expression. That is fundamental chemistry. When you mop your greasy kitchen floor with plain water or a mild soap solution, the water molecules literally cannot bond with or break apart the grease molecules. All you're doing is spreading a thin layer of water on top of the grease, pushing the loose surface dirt around and letting it dry. The grease stays exactly where it was. The floor looks cleaner for about 20 minutes until it dries, and you realize it feels just as sticky as before. Regular dish soap helps slightly because soap contains surfactants, molecules that have one polar end and one nonpolar end, which can partially grab onto grease. But the concentration of surfactant in most floor cleaners and even dish soap mixed in a bucket is too diluted to tackle heavy polymerized grease buildup. You are essentially trying to remove a concrete wall with a feather duster. What we need is a solution that chemically attacks the grease itself. And we need something alkaline to break the fatty acid chains in the grease. We need something that can emulsify, meaning actually wrap around and lift those old hardened grease molecules off the floor surface. And we need it to work on its own with minimal physical effort from us. That is exactly what our lazy formula delivers. And the two main ingredients cost almost nothing. Baking soda has a pH of around 8.3, which means it is mildly alkaline enough to break down fatty acid bonds in grease without damaging most floor surfaces. Second, you need dish soap, the regular kind. Blue Dawn or any grease-cutting dish soap works perfectly. The key is that dish soap contains surfactants at a much higher concentration than floor cleaners, which is exactly why it cuts grease so well on your pots and pans. We are going to use that same power on your floor. Third, you need hot water. Not warm water, hot water. As hot as your tap will give you, or slightly below boiling if you want maximum effectiveness. Heat is critical here because it increases molecular movement, which dramatically speeds up the emulsification process. Hot water plus alkaline plus surfactant equals chemistry doing your work for you. Optional but highly effective, white vinegar. Now, here's a critical note. If you have natural stone floors, marble travertine, or any unsealed porous stone, do not use vinegar. The acid will etch the surface permanently. For tile, ceramic, porcelain, vinyl, and laminate floors, vinegar is perfectly safe and adds another layer of grease cutting power because the acetic acid in vinegar attacks a different type of surface residue than the baking soda does. For the full lazy solution you will need half a cup of baking soda, 2 to 3 tablespoons of dish soap, 1 gallon of very hot water, and optionally half a cup of white vinegar for tile or vinyl floors only. That is it. That is your entire shopping list. Combined cost, probably under $2 if you're buying these for the first time. If you already have them at home, this is completely free. This mixing step matters, so follow it exactly. Start with your gallon of hot water in a large bucket. Add the half cup of baking soda first and stir until it fully dissolves. You will see it fizz slightly. That is normal, and it is a good sign. Now add the 2 to 3 tablespoons of dish soap. Stir gently. Do not whip it into a foam. You want the surfactants distributed evenly through the water, not trapped in bubbles on the surface. If you are using vinegar, add it last after the dish soap is fully stirred in. You may notice a mild fizzing reaction when the vinegar hits the baking soda solution. This is a neutralization reaction, and yes, technically the baking soda and vinegar partially cancel each other out if you let them react completely. The trick is to work fast and use the solution while it is still active. Do not mix and then walk away for 20 minutes. Mix it. Go immediately to your floor and start applying. The solution should smell clean and slightly soapy with a faint vinegar note if you added it. The color will be slightly cloudy from the dissolved baking soda. If you want to boost this even further for extreme grease buildup, you can add 1 tablespoon of salt to the mixture. Salt acts as a mild abrasive activator that helps the surfactants penetrate deeper into the grease film. It is completely optional, but it gives the solution a little extra bite on really stubborn buildup. This is the lazy part, and I mean genuinely, effortlessly, almost insultingly easy. Step 1, clear the floor. Move chairs, pet bowls, trash cans, anything sitting on the floor. You want full access to the surface. Do a quick dry sweep or vacuum to remove loose crumbs and surface debris. You do not want solid food particles mixing into your solution and smearing across the floor. This dry sweep takes about 90 seconds and is the only physically demanding part of this entire process. Step 2, apply the solution generously. Soak your mop in the hot solution and apply it to the floor with a full, generous wet mop pass. You want the floor visibly wet, not just damp. You want a real puddle of this hot solution sitting on the surface of the grease. If you have a spray bottle available, an even lazier method is to pour the solution into a large spray bottle and spray it directly onto the worst areas of the floor without even using a mop for the application phase. Just get that solution down and on to the grease. Step 3, do nothing. This is my favorite step. Walk away. Set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. During this time, the hot alkaline solution is actively breaking down the polymerized fatty acid chains in the grease. The surfactants are wrapping around individual grease molecules, pulling them away from the floor surface and into suspension in the water. The chemistry is doing everything. You are doing nothing. For severe, years-old buildup, leave it for up to 20 minutes. For regular monthly maintenance, 10 minutes is enough. Step 4, mop it up. Come back with a clean mop and warm water. 1 or 2 mop passes is all it takes. You will immediately notice the water picking up a brownish, grimy color. That is the grease coming off the floor. Do a second mop pass with plain, clean, warm water to rinse. That is it. The floor is done. Total active effort on your part, about 5 minutes. Total time including the dwell phase, about 20 minutes. Scrubbing required, 0. On your knees, 0 times. Now we get to the good part. Look at this floor. Before applying the solution, this kitchen floor has that characteristic dull, sticky appearance that comes from months of grease buildup. Under bright light, you can see the film on the surface, the slightly yellowed, glazed look that tells you there's an invisible layer of oxidized grease sitting on top of the floor. You run your hand across it, and you can feel the tackiness immediately. Your fingers have a slight resistance as you drag them across the tile. Your shoes peel slightly as you step and lift. This is a floor that has been mopped multiple times and still feels like this. Now, after applying the lazy formula, allowing it to dwell for 15 minutes, and doing 2 quick mop passes with clean water, look at the difference. The dull film is gone. The floor surface has a natural, clean sheen to it, not a chemical sheen, not a polished coating, just the actual surface of the tile or vinyl as it was meant to look. Run your hand across it now. It is smooth, no tackiness, no resistance, no peeling sound when you walk across it. The floor genuinely feels squeaky clean. And not because we scrubbed it into submission, because the chemistry did its job and lifted the grease completely off the surface. The before and after here is not subtle, it is dramatic. You can see it, you can feel it, and honestly, when you walk across it barefoot for the first time after this treatment, it feels like a completely different floor. That is what happens when you stop fighting grease with water and start fighting it with actual chemistry. Now that your floor is clean, let us talk about keeping it that way. Because the real power of this method is not just that it cleans the floor once. It is that understanding the chemistry behind grease buildup lets you prevent it from coming back as fast. Tip 1, do a mini treatment weekly instead of a full mop. Mix a smaller batch of this solution, half the amounts, and do a quick mop pass once a week. At this maintenance level, grease never gets a chance to polymerize and bond to the surface. You are cleaning it in its soft, fresh state when it takes almost no effort at all. Tip 2, use a splatter mat or kitchen rug near your stove. The zone directly in front of and beside your stove gets the highest concentration of grease mist. A washable kitchen mat here catches a huge percentage of the buildup before it ever reaches the floor. Tip 3, ventilate your kitchen while cooking. Run your range hood fan or open a window. The more cooking vapor and grease mist you can exhaust out of the kitchen while cooking, the less settles on your floors and surfaces. This single habit can cut your floor cleaning frequency in half. Tip 4, wipe up spills immediately, especially oil-based ones. Fresh oil is infinitely easier to clean than polymerized oil that has been sitting and oxidizing for 3 days. Keep a rag or paper towels within reach and make a habit of wiping any splash or drip the moment it happens. Tip 5, do a full deep treatment with this formula once a month. Monthly application keeps the buildup completely managed and prevents the multi-layer polymer film from ever developing again. Your floors will consistently look and feel the way they did the first day of the before and after transformation you just watched. Now here is the bottom line. Your kitchen floor does not need expensive commercial degreasers. It does not need professional cleaning services. It does not need 3 hours of scrubbing on a Saturday morning. It needs chemistry working for you instead of against you. Baking soda, dish soap, hot water, and 15 minutes of patience. That is the lazy method. That is the smart method. That is the method that works permanently when you do it consistently. If this video helped you, do me a favor right now. Hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are tired of sticky floors and expensive, ineffective cleaners. Subscribe if you have not already, because every week we are unlocking more of these chemistry-backed, budget-friendly, lazy cleaning methods that the big cleaning product companies do not want you to know about. Drop a comment below and tell me how bad your kitchen floor situation is right now. How long has it been building up? I read every single comment, and I would love to hear your before and after story when you try this. Share this video with someone you know who is still scrubbing their kitchen floor the hard way. They will thank you for it. Until next time, let chemistry do the work. You're welcome.